Hey, hey, hey there, people. I'm home. Woo! Not that I didn't love spending. I know I look like a booger. I hadn't had makeup on in forever. Didn't turn my lights on cause it's battery changing time again. But I'm back to read to you. Yeah, I got so sick 2 days there. I'll tell you more about that later, maybe. Kind of want to forget about it. Got a train case back there. That was from my last purchase, and I shouldn't have got it. After I got it, then I remembered. Sisola. Oh, Lordy. I could have got one from Jimmy Bean's and helped her out. Oh, well. I know I'll buy something. I'll get her. With furls or something. Anyway, I forgot what chapter we're on, but we're on part 3, and you'll see it in the, you've already seen it in the title. After leading the police to the long barn and giving a brief account, my glasses are broken, so these are just reading glasses, of her actions, Lucy had retired into the background, but she was under no illusion that the police had finished with her. She had just finished preparing potatoes for chips that evening when word was brought to her that Inspector Bacon required her presence. Putting aside the large bowl of cold water and salt in which the chips were reposing, Lucy followed the policeman to where the inspector awaited her. She sat down and awaited his questions composedly. She gave her name and her address in London and added of her own accord, "I will give you some names and addresses of reference if you want to know all about me." The names were very good ones: an admiral of the fleet, the provost, baby, of an Oxford college, and a dame of the British Empire. In spite of himself, Inspector Bacon was impressed. "Now, Miss Islesborough, you went into the long barn to find some paint, is that right? And after having found the paint, you got a crowbar, forced up the lid of this sarcophagus, and found the body? What were you looking for in the sarcophagus?" "I was looking for a body," said Lucy. "You were looking for a body, and you found one. Doesn't that seem to you a very extraordinary story?" "Oh, yes, it is an extraordinary story." "Perhaps you will let me explain it to you." "I certainly think you had better do so." Lucy gave him a precise recital of the events which had led up to her sensational discovery. The inspector summed it up in an outraged voice. "You were engaged by an elderly lady to obtain a post here and to search the house and grounds for a dead body, is that right?" "Yes." "Who is this elderly lady?" "Miss Jane Marple. She is at present living at 4 Madison Road." The inspector wrote it down. "So he doesn't know Miss Marple. My gosh. You expect me to believe this story?" Lucy said gently. "Not perhaps until you have interviewed Miss Marple and got her confirmation of it. I shall interview her all right. She must be cracked." Lucy forbore to point out that to be proved right is not really a proof of mental incapacity. Instead, she said, "What are you proposing to tell Miss Crackenthorpe? About me, I mean." "Why do you ask?" "Well, as far as Miss Marple is concerned, I've done my job. I found the body she wanted found. But I'm still engaged by Miss Crackenthorpe, and there are 2 hungry boys in the house, and probably some more of the family will soon be coming down after all this upset. She needs domestic help. If you go and tell her that I only took this post in order to hunt for dead bodies, she'll probably throw me out. Otherwise, I can get on with my job and be useful." The inspector looked hard at her. "I'm not saying anything to anyone at present," he said. "I haven't verified your statement yet. For all I know, you may be making the whole thing up." Lucy rose. "Thank you. Then I'll go back to the kitchen and get on with things." So that was chapter 6 because I turned the page and this is 7. And that was part 3. So, chapter 7, part 1. We'd better have the yard in on it. Is that what you think, Bacon? The chief constable, I was just looking at how long that took me, looked inquiringly at Inspector Bacon. The inspector was a big, stolid man. His expression was that of one utterly disgusted with humanity. The woman wasn't a local, sir, he said. There's some reason to believe from her underclothing that she might have been a foreigner. Of course, added Inspector Bacon hastily. Oh, they're talking about Lucy. They're talking about the dead body. Oh my gosh. What are they doing looking at Lucy's drops? Oh my gosh, I'm crazy. I know that. Of course, added Inspector Bacon hastily. I'm not letting on about that yet a while. We're keeping it up our sleeves until after the inquest. The chief constable nodded. The inquest will be purely formal, I suppose? Yes, sir, I've seen the coroner, and it's fixed for when? Tomorrow. I understand the other members of the Crackenthorpe family will be here for it. There's just a chance one of them might be able to identify her. They'll all be here. He consulted a list he held in his hand. Harold Crackenthorpe. He's something in the city. Quite an important figure, I understand. Alfred, don't quite know what he does. Cedric, that's the one who lives abroad. Paints. The inspector invested the word with its full quota of sinister significance. Oh, the one that lives abroad paints. The chief constable smiled into his mustache. No reason is there to believe the Crackenthorpe family are connected with the crime in any way, he asked. Not apart from the fact that the body was found on the premises, said Inspector Bacon, and of course it's just possible that this artist member of the family might be able to identify her. What beats me is this extraordinary rigmarole about the train. Ah, yes, you've been to see this old lady, he glanced at the memorandum lying on his desk, Miss Marple? Yes, sir, and she's quite set and definite about the whole thing. Whether she's barmy or not, I don't know, but she sticks to her story about what her friend saw and all the rest of it. As far as all that goes, I dare say it's just make-believe sort of thing old ladies do make up, like seeing flying saucers at the bottom of the garden and Russian agents in the lending library, but it seems quite clear that she did engage this young woman, the lady help, and told her to look for a body, which the girl did. And found one, observed the chief constable. Well, it's all a very remarkable story. Marple, Miss Jane Marple, the name seems familiar somehow. Anyway, I'll get on to the yard. I think you're right about its not being a local case, though we won't advertise the facts just yet. For the moment, we'll tell the press as little as possible. And I know that wasn't much, and I haven't been here in forever. But y'all, I'm tired. Here's just one other part to this chapter. Of course, it's the long part. Y'all forgive me, won't you? Until tomorrow, I hope. My girls are still here. Well, the one that lives 30 minutes away, she went home because she had a party to go to and then a show or something in Charlotte, so she had stuff to do. And my Florida daughter and 2 grands are at their dad's for the night. So I'm just going to kick back here and watch Miss Kelly, honey. Kelly's Crochet Adventures. She's probably going to come on soon. See y'all. Love ya. Be sweet, don't be ugly. Bye.